Smith has grown beyond your control. Soon he will spread through the city as he spread through the Matrix. You cannot stop him. But I can. If that's true, then I've made a mistake and you should kill me now.
What are they doing? What are you doing?
Morpheus!
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Much mercy to you, chosen, that's fully in the new covenant. But because you can't do nothing without Yahweh Shai in the new covenant. The scriptures tell you that without Yahweh Shai, you can do nothing. So what's really demonic in these last times is the heresies and the doctrines of camps and the commandments of men, which the Lord told us to beware of the leaven of the scribes. Once you understand the leaven of the scribes, then you can understand that in these camps and these wide gates, it's a certain particular doctrine that's going to stop you from really being with Yahweh Shai in this time, being in an agreement, being in that covenant in this body. See, everybody was not chosen to serve the Lord truthfully in the new covenant in this body. That's why I played that clip with Neo. Neo was the only one that could go in there and fight Agent Smith. And this is something where you have to understand that when you understand this, Yahweh Shai, and just like the elect, it's certain things that the elect are going to do that nobody else is going to do that. And this is what is happening in these last days. So you have whole camps of people and guys. They're really waiting on some new bodies so they could be in the covenant with the Lord. Like that doctrine right there, what that does is it keeps you from the covenant of Yahweh Shai in this body, bro. Man, it is very heavy what's going on. So when you look at it, when you take that doctrine and you believe it, like, yeah, we have to wait on new bodies, then what you're doing is you're putting the Lord off. You're not really whole for the Lord right now in this body. And that's what these elders, they've been set up to do that, man. And they're very good at going around in circles and teaching everything except the new heart of flesh, Yahweh Shai, in the new covenant. They can teach everything else, but except the new covenant and the new heart of Yahweh Shai. And this is leaven. This is some of the leaven. This is describing some of the leaven of the scribes. You gotta understand what the Lord was telling us. So understanding the leaven of the scribes, this was something that Yahushua was explaining to us, because once you understand Yahushua, then you could understand the leaven of the scribes. See, everybody's not really following Yahushua like that. Like even guys that say they're teaching the new covenant, you still got guys in that same demonic doctrine of they're waiting on new bodies and they're waiting on spiritual power. So what's happening in these times, a lot of you guys by your mouth condemn you, have put the Lord off until you get another body. That means in this body, you're profitless and you're worthless in this body. You don't have the Lord in this body, and you're not wholehearted for him. If you were wholehearted for the Lord, then you would teach Yahushua. You would you would speak of the new covenant. This is something that you have to understand, and you have to put this, everybody's not going to understand this. They think because they're puffed up with all this knowledge these elders didn't taught them. Yeah, they've taught you a lot of things and a lot of prophecies and certain things that they bringing out as true, but what they have done, they have taken away the new covenant, and they can't give you the breakdown of the heart of flesh. The heart of flesh, which represents Yahushua, which you're going to have your heart. You're going to have Yahushua in your heart, and you're going to have to be whole for him in these times in order to make it out of here. This is what the new covenant is about. So you have guys and you have groups and you have false prophets actually set up to give you a doctrine where you're putting the Lord off till you get another body. And it's very heavy. So what's happening these last days, just like I played that clip with with Neo, the Lord had to send the machine guy, Salakia, he had to send in Neo to go take out Mr. Smith for good. And so just like in these times, the Lord is not using everybody to actually really teach the new covenant with their heart. He's not using everybody. A lot of you guys, you don't have a heart. But a lot of guys, another thing too, a lot of guys are teaching the new covenant, man. I've seen a couple channels I ain't never seen before. Jake is of the world, but they're still teaching the new covenant. The new covenant, the thing about the new covenant is nothing of a wide gate, though. That's the only thing that guys don't really understand. That they think that this is something where you're going to get fame and be seen of men. The majority of guys teaching his word, man, they just want to be seen, and they're of the world like a motherfucker. But a lot of guys are teaching the new covenant, but they're not of it. They're just teaching it, just like these elders. They're false prophets. They can teach a lot of shit, but they're not of the Lord, because their doctrine and everything that they're teaching is off of the fact that you can't be in the covenant with the Lord in this body. You need new bodies. And that is false doctrine to get you to put your power off. And none of these guys are going to get new bodies at all. They're going to die in this body. And everybody that follows them is just like the Lord said, the blind leading the blind. They're both going to fall into a ditch. That's what's happening. You have guys, they can be good speakers, they can be good talkers, and they can actually teach. But what they have set up to do is to get you to deny your power right now. That's what these camps are set up for. These camps are set up just like these churches to get you go off in some of the major things. With these groups, it's some shit of you're not in the covenant with Yahushua until you get a new body. You had these Sakari saying the whole book of Hebrews is not a part of the scriptures. So this is very heavy in these times, man. And I mean, that's a heavy doctrine to push. And by the few of us, we're breaking that shit down. And the ones that get to us are the ones that need to get to us. The rest of you guys are going to be blinded by these camps, and you're going to die in that doctrine, because what you did, you don't, by them putting the covenant off, right, and telling you need another body. Right now in this body, your heart is not with Yahushua, and Yahushua is not in your hearts. That's what that does. So you could say the name all day, and you could teach all this shit about the mark of the beast, and you could have all these prophecies. But the Lord said, if you have not charity, which that's the love, and you can't have any love in your heart without the new covenant. And Yahushua is that day star that's shining in certain of us hearts. So if he's not in your heart right now in this body, then you're not going to make it. And that's what allowed guys to teach for 30, 40 years, running in circles, not really getting to the point. The point is Yahushua. So once you start teaching Yahushua in the new covenant, then that speeds things up. And that's why before we started teaching this, guys didn't want us to teach the new covenant. They didn't want us to bring out Yahushua. They didn't want us to teach the doctrine we're teaching. Guys would say, hey, why don't you teach what the elders teach? Then they would tell us like, hey, you're going to get yourself killed in this. Because what this is doing, the few of us can only do it. See, that's the thing, is like a lot of you guys, yeah, you could teach, but really what you're doing is you're not even wholehearted teaching the Lord. Us brothers over here, we put our whole heart into this. And that's why Leo knew that he was sent to be the one to beat Mr. Smith. Matthew chapter 16 and 1, it says, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came tempting and desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. Right. So what's wicked about waiting on new bodies? You need the Lord to show you new bodies, then you can be with the Lord and agree with him. That is the opposite of faith. So what these camps are pushing is a faithless carnal vibration. And I blame these elders, man. The trick is they teach you so much shit. So when you get to things of the new covenant and shit like that, by the time you get to the new covenant, they taught you all this shit about prophecies and shit like that. They could just tell you anything, and you're like, yeah, we need new bodies. But what's happening is these camps, they're set up as traps. So what they've done, they've trapped your ass, and they got you thinking like, yeah, you need some new bodies. So that's what the Lord is speaking of. Let me read this again. Matthew 16 and 1. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came tempting and desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. And he answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red, and in the morning it will be foul weather today. For the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky. Right, they could all the carnal shit, but ye cannot discern the signs of the time. And we're in the times that if you don't have the Lord in your heart right now, you're not going to make it. So what they have done is they make you think that you have to wait on something outside of you or whole nother body. So they need a sign for them to actually believe in the Lord. Matthew 16 and 4, wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign given unto it but the sign of the prophet Jonah. And he left them and departed. Right. These guys on these high seas and these elders and shit, they're good at teaching shit. But the thing with these guys is that's why they would never mention us, because this thing about the new bodies thing, you really can't refute that, because it's not in the scriptures where you needed a new body to be with the Lord. It's not in there. So this is made up doctrine. So a wicked and adulterous generation, they need a sign of a new fucking body. They need a sign of something to let them know that they're in the covenant with the Lord. This is what's happening in this time. Now it says, and when the disciples And when the disciples would come to the other side, they had forgotten to take bread. Then Yahushua said unto him, take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. You see that? So you have to take heed and beware of the doctrine in these wide gates. This is what you got to understand. And that's why if you don't understand the scriptures by what the scriptures say, then you will be tricked in these wide gates. All these guys in these wide gates, they're waiting on spiritual power. They're waiting on new bodies. They're waiting on they're waiting on covenants. They're waiting on another Yahushua. Not Yahushua to deliver them, but to bring them a new covenant or new bodies. Nothing is right now with these guys. These guys in these groups, they're not fulfilling anything. They say that Jacob's trouble ain't here yet. You see the pattern? They tell you that the mark of the beast isn't here yet. Jacob's trouble isn't here yet. This is a psychological warfare to get your ass trapped in these camps. Anything great in this world is corrupt. That's why Jeremiah said that our people, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. And the only reason guys are great is because their house is full of deceit. So a wicked generation, they seek after a sign. They need a sign of a new body because they don't have no fucking faith. And so basically they could teach you all this knowledge, but at the end of the day, Yahushua not there. Knowing a bunch of knowledge and information, that don't really put you in the spirit. That don't put you in the spirit. What puts you in the spirit is the new mind, repenting, having that new heart of flesh, which these elders, that's why they call themselves stones, because they were that stone in Matthew 27 that the angel had to roll back because they didn't want the Lord to come back to life on the third day. And that's why we're in the 3,000th year. And you got these groups set up to really keep Yahushua in the cave. You see what I'm saying? So they're doing the same shit today. And who put the Lord on the who put the Lord on the cross? Matthew 27:1. And when the morning come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they had led him away and delivered him unto Pontius Pilate, the governor. That's right. So this is the spirit right now in these times. These guys, these elders, these are the same elders that had everything to do with putting the Lord on the cross. And then after they did that, they wanted to put that stone in front of the cave so the Lord wouldn't come out. And that's why you have all this confusion and all this doctrine, and that's why you have all these camps and shit like that, because these camps, they get you snared into their doctrine. And that's why the Lord said, beware of the leaven of the scribes, because they're altering the salvation of Yahushua. See, no flesh would be saved if the Lord didn't shorten the days, because what these elders are doing, they're shutting your salvation off and telling you need another body. So won't nobody get out of here if you didn't have a few of us brothers really breaking this thing down like that. And it comes down all the way to this, where it's literally like 2 or 3 gathered. The thousands of guys with their thousands of subscribers and thousands. These are wide gates, and like I say, the majority of guys, they just want to be seen. They don't even really, their heart is not totally with Yahushua, because guys say they're still waiting on power. If your heart was in it, then you wouldn't be waiting on some shit. You already know the Lord is with you right now, and you have to believe in that covenant right now. You have to be in that agreement. And that's another thing too. Like, guys ain't really crying out like that. Like the law in Deuteronomy tells you, like, if a woman was being raped, she has to cry out. If the woman don't cry out, then she was with it. So a lot of you guys, you're with this place, and you guys giving like a false cry. So these elders have been set up not for your benefit, but to get you halfway there and ultimately A lot of guys are going to become short. That's why the scripture tell you that they set up the kingdom of heaven from men. That is the prophecy that guys are doing. They're shutting up the kingdom of heaven from men. They're shutting up these things. And what they're doing is they know they can't enter in themselves. This is what this new body shit is about. You need to renew your fucking mind. Matthew chapter 15, verse 7. It says, ye hypocrites, well do as Isaiah prophesied unto you, saying, these people draw nigh unto me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain do they worship me, teaching for the doctrines and the commandments of men. And that's what's happening. Their heart is far from the Lord because they need a new body. So right now, their heart right now is not with the Lord. Everything has become a trap for our people, a snare and a trap. Our people are snared in their trap. Jeremiah 5:26, for among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as that set of snares. They set a trap and they catch men. You see, that's what they're doing. They're so wicked that these camps are being used to trap men and snare them, to snare their souls. Because these guys that are these leaders and these elders and shit like that, they know they can't get into the kingdom of heaven themselves, so they're trapping a lot of people. That's why with all this shit they teach about Esau and the world and all that, that is to cover up the fact that really the main thing you should be speaking of is Yahushua and the Gospels. So our people, they're laying traps. And so this is what has happened. Psalms 69:22, let their table become a snare before them, and that which should have been for their welfare, let it become a trap. Right, so these camps, they're traps now. Now the word is supposed to be for your welfare, but the wide gate and the doctrines of camps, they have become traps, and they're snaring guys. Sirach 27:26, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein. So these elders were getting to the time where the scripture tell you in Revelations that their shit is stacked to the heavens. Revelations 18:5, for her sin have reached unto the heavens, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Right, so like if you're great here, then you're part of Babylon the Great. You see what I'm saying? You're a part of it. Yahushua never called himself great. You see? So this is what you got to understand. And so now when you go to Matthew 23, they shut up the kingdom of heaven from men, and they can't go in themselves. And so that's why you got to understand that the chief priests and the scribes that was sitting on them high seats before the Lord came, they were sitting on these high seats, and they were using the high holy days of Moses to get over on the people. They were doing that. That's why the Lord came and made he was the high holy day, because those high holy days and the Passover and the new moons and the atonements, they were using that to manipulate the people like they're doing right now. They make you think like you're following some high holy days and you're doing this of the Lord. But what they're not telling you, that the election of the Most High, the Lord is atoning for them right now in this body. So if you deny Yahushua in this body, then he's not atoning for you. So going back to waiting on new bodies, when they get you to wait on another body, then that means Yahushua is not with you in this time. That's why the Lord said, many going to say, Lord, Lord. Didn't I prophesy in your name? Because yeah, they're using the Lord's name, but they're telling you they're not in agreement with him right now. So basically they're not married to the Lamb. So just like with Neo, when that computer sent him in there for a job that he can only do, and only us few brothers that are of the Lord can actually bring these things out. Now, why they don't teach the heart of flesh and teach that you are in the new covenant? Because they're not of it. So they can't teach something that they're not of, and they can't profess the knowledge that they don't have. So they could tell you all this shit about the world and Esau and all this shit about prophecies and all these prophecies, but the main thing that they need to push, they can't do it because they're not of Yahushua. They're against him. Matthew 23:12, and whoso shall exalt himself shall be abased. Right, that's what's happening. These camps and these groups, they've exalted themselves. So what's happening through the Spirit, we're abasing guys. And so what guys are doing, they're trying to flood, like the flood in Revelations. They're trying to flood out the woman and the true prophets that's out here, that's us, that was prophesied to teach Yahushua in these last days. They're trying to flood us out. But what's happening is the Spirit is abasing their ass. It says, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, and hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. This is what these elders are doing, but they're doing it in a slick way, which they're not going to tell you that they're part of the beast. Their doctrine is a doctrine that's a part of the beast. Because in the scriptures, they don't tell you need a new body, bro. You need to renew your mind. And they can't renew their mind because they have stony hearts. So this is the biggest deception in these days. The deception of needing new bodies is going to get many people destroyed. They really are. They really are. But woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go in yourself, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. So they're stopping brothers from getting to Yahushua, bro. It's heavy. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses for pretense and make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. So these guys' sins, their judgment is going to be great. They like to call themselves Great Millstone. Well, their judgment is going to be great for shutting up the kingdom of heaven from many souls. And these guys, they have to pay for all those souls that they're destroying. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees and hypocrites, for you can pass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves, man. And that's what guys are. These camps are making guys more demons. They're making more demons. And ultimately, the what we're teaching, the new wine, it can't go into these stony hearts or these old bottles. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the ones that's going to be delivered is going to be like the days of Noah. A large multitude of motherfuckers are going to die because they don't have Yahushua in their hearts right now. Matthew 23:16. Woe unto you, blind guys, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the debtor, whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. So what's happening in these times, right? They are, the temple has become a fucking den of thieves. And they're making men twofold of a child than them, believing in that same shit. And only a few of us will sit here to free men's souls in these last few seconds, man. And it's heavy. You know, if the Lord didn't shorten the days, there'd be no flesh to be saved. You know. But with that, man, this is one of the greatest deceptions, is getting you to wait on a new body to be with Yahushua. That is one of the greatest deceptions in these times, man. One of the biggest heresies in these times, which that's going to cause a lot of guys to fall and stumble in these last days. And when guys actually find out that they've been bamboozled by these elders, it's going to be too late by then. By the time guys really understand what we've been trying to tell you, it's going to be too late for a lot of you guys. So at the last moment, the Lord have sent us in, the apostles last, to pull a few out the fire. And that's all we're sent here to do. That's all we're sent here to do, is to pull a few out the fire. With that, Shalom.